Okay, so everything seems to be working out. Let me know if you guys can hear the background music. If you guys can hear my voice, just give me a little thumbs up in the chat so I can make sure everything's working before I do a whole stream. You guys can't even hear what I'm saying. Don't want that to happen. I'm gonna switch this music station to just my liked songs. So like all the liked songs, all the songs that I like over past streams, we're just gonna listen to those, which is the benefit of using one of these stations, because you can just put on stuff that you like after a while if you use it a lot. Have a lot of liked songs. Okay, there's that. Okay, good to see you all. Carol GS is asking whether you'll be able to see this stream later, and I do plan to post it on the channel. So, yes. Give me 1 second. We'll get started. So some of you probably know some of the merchandise from the Chronicle of Pie series just came in, so I got to take a sip. The water I have next to me is in the Chronicle of Pie official mug, and man, sipping out of that thing feels so good. It was a very complicated design. I definitely overpainted the design. I just noticed when the merch came out, it's better to use simple colors and not have so much detail in it, because some of it will get hidden. The prints themselves look really good though. So, no regrets there, but next time I won't overpaint everything. I'll keep things relatively simple. But that's not what this stream's about. This stream is about Clip Studio Paint's animation feature. Now, I assume that Clip Studio's paint, I can't talk. I assume the Clip Studio's paints, I'm gonna call it CSP, see? It's one of those word traps. CSP's features were just like, you know, some flipbook thing that they kind of tacked on at the end when they were making Clip Studio Paint. So, but then they reached out to me. They're gonna sponsor a video later on. This stream isn't sponsored, but I learned via, you know, they reached out to me, started looking at the program, that this thing is actually a full-fledged animation software. And I've been waiting so long to try it. You know, the thing about YouTube, you wanna share the experience of you trying it for the first time. And I've been very patient. So today I'm gonna try it out, and I'm really excited. So I have used it before. I used the drawing painting feature. I did some sketching in it. Really nice brushes. Like, wow, the brush engine is just so good. So I'm really looking forward to using it for animation, because I mean, if anything you can draw in this program, anything you can illustrate, you can animate, right? Because you just, you know, draw whatever you drew on the first frame on the next frame. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay guys, so without further ado, let's get started. I'm still getting new to this streaming thing, so bear with me while I figure things out. All right, let's see. All right, now we're in Clip Studio Paint. Is it better than Krita? Well, considering that it's paid software, I do want to put that out there first. I would prefer to use this over using Krita. I don't know what was better is, you know, dependent on your situation. your budget and stuff like that. So what we have before us, guys, is Clip Studio Paint EX. Now there's two versions of Clip Studio Paint. Technically three, I think. Clip Studio Paint Pro costs $50. And with that version, you get all the illustration features, all the great brush engine you can use, which I seriously, like, every time, I'm going to show you guys in a second. I might just want to stop talking and show you guys. The brushes are really, really good in this program. But the only thing you don't get with the Pro version, which is the sort of like the normal version, is the full animation timeline and some more comic book export features, like making, you know, web comics and stuff like that. So with the Pro version, which is $50, that's a perpetual license, meaning that when you pay $50, you keep it. It's yours forever. You can only make 24 frames of animation, so a 1 second animation in the standard 24. In the EX version, you have the full animation capability, which is the one I have right here. You can make animations as long as you want. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking and let's get into this, man. I've been waiting too long for this. Thank you all for coming, by the way. So to answer your question, Nader, if you're using a mobile device like an iPad or anything that has an app store, I think it's going to be a monthly subscription. So that's my understanding. But if you're on Windows or Mac, you can buy it once and buy it forever. So the Pro version is $50, I believe. It goes on sale often. I just wait till it goes on sale. And the EX version, I believe, is $219. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make this animation file. Just give me 1 second while I'm in the menu here creating the file we're gonna be animating today. Let's see. From one, okay. Yeah, so if you guys were in my video coming up, you guys will be able to see this menu. It has so many features. Like, you know, when I'm clicking on the animation template, and there's just like, you know, there's story information, there's timeline, size of the output frame, really good stuff for professional animators. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start this so you guys can see it. Okay, awesome. Now let's I'm gonna open up the animation timeline. Let's see. Oops. Okay, there we are. Let's make this thing bigger. You know, I like this song too. I guess I don't remember listening to it, but it's called Adventure of Legends by Zircon. So that's cool. All right, let's get started. So last time on my stream, I promised that I would animate something. You know, I was asking. It was last time on the what's it called? When I tried Blender for the first time. I promised you guys that I would do something with, you guys were voting which character I should draw. And I promised next time I would draw Coco instead of drawing Pi. If you guys don't know who these characters are, that's fine. I'm gonna draw them anyway. So let's see, which brush am I gonna use? This one I got from Marco Bucci's free brushes from a video he made. Really excellent tutorial channel. We're gonna use this one. This is from the Clip Studio Paint asset store. It was free. It's an animator brush, so it said animators only. So I just welcomed myself to using it. One of the greatest features of Clip Studio is the free assets, and there's like 3D models you can use and everything. Really cool stuff. Okay, so what to animate. Let me go, I'll be right back, guys. I'm gonna go grab my sketchbook to see if I can have any sketches that I'd like to turn into an animation. I'll be right back. All right, you guys can probably tell I'm still a little green to this streaming stuff, but we're back. Let's shift this over. There we go. Okay, so first off, guys, these brushes feel like amazing. So this mechanical pencil right here is the default brush. I prefer to use just the pencil. It has a nice texture to it. It feels really good. In fact, it sort of makes up for the tablet I'm using, because you know the best of the best tablet drawing software would be like a Wacom or a Sense Labs drawing tablet, because they have just really good software, really good pen tech. But I'm using an XP pen right now, which it's still good. You know, you don't need to pay the extra premium for all the fancy pen tech, but it in Clip Studio Paint, it just makes up for all that. It's like I don't even notice the common drawbacks I face with using an XP pen tablet, so it's pretty cool. Okay, I can't remember which one of these keys I assigned to. So that one does print. Let's see. This is a brush. Okay, this is move. Okay, just using my tour box here. So I'm just going to draw a reference for Coco first. Coco is one of my characters that appeared on this channel. I'm just going to draw a reference for them so I can use them for this animation. Try to make it the size of this. See. All right. Oh, I keep forgetting the most important part when I draw these characters. Their iconic eyelashes. you're clicking in the background, I'm using a toolbox instead of a keyboard. It's just a shortcut key remote that has a lot of tactile feedback. Like it has knobs, it has dials, really good stuff. And they just made a new one, so I'm planning on reviewing that in the future. We'll see how it goes. Oh, I can't existence, that's fine. You can feel free to put the link in the chat. All right. Yeah, so I did set up the shortcuts because, you know, Clip Studio Paint isn't like Toon Boom where it's like it also has sort of like 3D animation capabilities in it. It's really just for 2D animation. So setting up anything that helps you with drawing is basically going to help you with animation. So it goes for the same for shortcut keys. I just set up, I done drawing in Clip Studio Paint because I didn't really want to bore you guys, you know, learning all the shortcuts and what menu does what. I feel like that's kind of boring. I'd rather show you guys how the animation works. I feel like that'll be a lot more fun in a live stream. So right now I'm just giving myself a reference for my the animation I'm going to make. So as for the 3D models in Clip Studio, I think you can technically animate them because if you pose them and then you rasterize the pose, like you just turn the 3D view into a 2D image, then I guess technically you could probably animate with them, but I wouldn't because, you know, they're really good for reference, but for, you know, anything else, I don't know, maybe someone can prove me wrong and make a whole animation with those. They do help for stuff like this. Like I actually have a model for my character Pi, my short film coming out soon. I have a model made for him in Clip Studio, and I'll show you guys that before I get off here, definitely. Okay. All right, so that's some of the anatomy figured out. I definitely could use some practice with that. Let me just flip this so I can see where I'm. Yeah, I'm leaning a little bit. A lot of it. Let's see. Let's fix that. So one of the things I'm looking forward to after releasing Chronicle of Pi Episode 1 is just, getting better at drawing, getting better at studying anatomy. I think I might have crashed here. Hold on. Oh, I think this program crashed. Oh no, never mind. I had a window open on my other monitor. I was about to say, I guess all programs crash. It's not just OpenTunes. which is true. It's not, no program is incapable of crashing. Made sure to update before I started this stream, so this is the latest version of Clip Studio Paint EX. Make sure to get all the important character details in here. It's getting there. Oh man, it is getting there. Usually how my sketch process goes. It'll start a little rough, like that's not really looking too great, but eventually it gets there. Now I did draw a similar picture to this using the Clip Studio model editor. Like you can make models and then edit the proportions in Clip Studio, which basically, dude, like guys, like that's like my selling point. And you guys might think that Clip Studio Paint EX costing $220 is expensive for this software, and let me tell you something. I want you to look up TV Paint, see the price of TV Paint. I want you to look up Toon Boom and see the price of Toon Boom, which I don't even know if you can get a perpetual license, not for $220. And while I definitely am all for using free programs, because that's basically what my channel's about, and I'm never really gonna stop using those free programs like OpenTunes, Krita. I don't really see myself ever signing off of them. Maybe just use them. At most, I probably use other programs as well. but $220 is not expensive for animation software. Like that is very cheap for animation software, and considering the tools that Clip Studio has, it's a bargain. It's a real bargain. So I didn't know about all this about Clip Studio until they reached out to me, because I just assumed it was one of those Autodesk sketchbook kind of like, oh, you know, you can animate in it, but you know, since OpenToons exists, you might as well not. So, but I checked it out, and the features are pretty dang good. I'm not trying to take up this whole stream by drawing, so let me speed up a little bit here. Non-symmetrical things like this, you know, this eye on the left right here being bigger than this eye on the right, that's fine. That's okay. As long as the drawing has the right proportions, then it's okay. Let's do this. Now, as for these arms, I don't know about. I don't know what's going on with these. I'm just gonna redraw these. Sometimes it's better to stop tweaking and just redo it. If you just switch your view for a little while, like switch from like using this flip horizontal button right here, it can give you a nice perspective to work in, and then you can just switch back to your original afterwards. I'm actually gonna make her I always draw Coco's hands in like sort of like a fist position, so I'm gonna try to do them relaxed today. Let's see what happens. Yeah, if you're starting out, I definitely like, because here's the thing, guys, like I can really appreciate the features of Clip Studio Paint coming from using free software. I've used OpenToons for everything, and I'm still using OpenToons for a lot of stuff. Like I haven't even switched over to Tahoma 2D because of certain features that I like. OpenToons, well, for me, OpenToons, the what's it called? Hotkey latency is a little less than Tahoma. That's really the only reason I don't use Tahoma. But if you start with Tahoma, start using a free program, you will actually appreciate the features of paid software, because Tahoma 2D and OpenToons, they just stomp so many paid programs. It's like you don't really need them. And if I was going to work in like a, you know, if I was going to hire a studio of people like who work in a studio, I could probably justify getting paid software, but you really don't need it. You really don't. Let's see. How am I gonna put these arms maybe like this? Yeah, let's put that twist in there. So it's like, if I was gonna say, like, is Clip Studio Paint an absolute must-have? You can't animate without it? Like, absolutely not. We have OpenToons, we have Tahoma 2D, we have Blender. So many tools you can use. But are these animation tools, does Clip Studio Paint offer, like, more for your money? I can say probably the features are definitely implemented nicely. As for more, it's hard to say, because we got OpenToons on the map. And OpenToons has quantity as well as quality. So as for more, I don't know. However, you know, the not crashing, the very responsive shortcut keys is the luxury of using a software that you paid for. because in OpenTunes, my main gripe with it, I think I've said this before, but I'm going to put this in my OpenTunes review at the probably sometime this year, is that it's just the latency, the hotkey latency. The program's just kind of old. These arms look so whack. I'm sorry, guys. The program's just old. There's not a lot you can do about something like latency. Without, you know, building the program from the bottom up. Now look, I'm not a programmer, so don't listen to me. Don't take it from me like, oh, there's nothing they can do. Look, these guys have gotten to OpenTunes 1.6, so don't take it from the animator who's a non-programmer to say what can and can't be done. However, it's gonna take a lot to fix fundamental issues like that. And sometimes you might just have to write the program over, is what I assume. But anyone who's a programmer can feel free to step in and say, hey, wait a minute. That's not exactly how it goes. I think just because these shoulders are too. I'm spending way too much time. What am I doing? I'm here waiting to, what's it called? Try the animation features of Clip Studio, and I've just been drawing this whole time. Forgive me, guys. Let's do this. So we have our model down. I'm not a fan of these arms, so I'm just gonna have to live with that. And I'm gonna make a new, it's called a new animation folder, which is just basically another layer. All your cells are stored in one folder. And I'm just gonna hit new animation cell. Easy, real easy. No lag, no nothing, it just happens right instantly. All right, so what are we gonna, let's do something like this. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, let's do this. Head's a little wide. See, no lag. Program doesn't freeze for 5 minutes. It's a luxury at this point, having used OpenTunes for so long. For a program not freezing for 5 minutes when you're trying one operation is a luxury. Let's put a tilt to this, something like that. And flip this way. Give it some polarity. For a second, I couldn't remember how many fingers Coco had. Because before this, it's just been how many fingers was aesthetically pleasing at the moment. Let's see. You know what I forgot to do? You can actually make time lapses in Clip Studio Paint. And it'll just record your canvas instead of, you know, recording all the rotating and flipping you've been doing. Now if I can figure out how to do it, that would be great. How did I do that again? There we go. Record time lapse. All right. Cool. Now would be a great time to show off the 3D models features. As you clearly see that I'm struggling while drawing this character. It's not going too well. So definitely some practice is needed on my part. But if you're in a pinch, Clip Studio Paint has like so many 3D features that can help you with reference. And really, the 3D is really just to add to your references. It doesn't replace using real reference. It doesn't replace, you know, knowledge of anatomy, because you have to transform, you know, the reference you're getting from the model in order for it to look like artwork. So otherwise, it'll just look like a 3D model. So let me pull those up. We'll be working. You have to have an anatomical knowledge in order to really use them. So let's see what we get. Let me try to get this eyelash in here. We'll just pull up those models and see if they can save this very crude drawing that I'm making. Let's see. Okay. Let's try it. I'm gonna save that. Let's just save this as KO. And we'll try some 3D models. So I'm gonna click this 3D viewer thing, and then I'm going to, let's see. Okay. Let's go here. I'm going to select body type. Now I already have some here. As you can see, I have some already pre-made. I'm gonna select one of these. Let's just select this default one that comes with Clip Studio. So it's not showing up. Let me take this out of the animation folder, I think. I don't know if it's gonna show up. So I need to get out of this animation folder in order for it to work. To select whatever that thing was. Okay, so now we have this 3D model here. Let's take this view and just sort of like, let's see, how do I rotate? There we go. So So I can see they definitely updated this 3D space, because this, you know, large expanse with all these lines, this perspective grid wasn't here the last time I used it. So that must have been pretty recent. So now what we can do is we can just sort of, I'm going to try to get a view that's similar to what we're doing right now. You can click these individual parts of sections of the body and move them around, which is cool. So I'm going to move it in the position sort of similar to what we have. And also you can change the FOV that you're viewing it at. So I think that's the middle mouse scroll button. Yeah, there we go. That's the FOV. Let's scroll up, it'll change it. So our FOV is going to be something a little higher. Usually it's around 50 or something, standard eyesight, but we're just going to go something a little higher than that. Rotate this backwards. But the thing I'm really looking forward to using more in the future is this adjust body shape and size of 3D figure in detail. So you can click that, and this menu will come up. So I'll show you more of the menu when I do my actual what's it called, Clip Studio Paint video, because you guys can't see it on the stream, but you guys will see the model automatically update. So our character Coco is actually pretty skinny, so you can make the model skinnier, but she has very large arms, large forearms, so we can sort of imitate that in our model without trying to make anything that looks too not appealing. Let's see. The hands are going to be obviously really big, so let's make them as big as possible. We can leave the arms skinny. Okay. So you can actually almost fit this model to any cartoon proportioned or any proportioned character you may have, which is really cool. So I'm going to change this head to body ratio because Coco has quite a large head. And yeah, okay, so that'll do for now. It's not real. I'm not really looking to get anything too specific right now. Like, I went really in depth on these other ones. For right now, all I need is just some simple reference. I'm not trying to get too crazy with it or take too much time to you know, really flesh out an accurate model. There's that song again. Let's see, rotate it this way. They also have default poses you can use. So I'm probably gonna use it, yeah, there we go, fist pose, and just drag it onto there, and boom, there it is. That's our fist. Now let's see, turn this. I'm just gonna rotate this a little more, similar to the way we have it. I think I have to move this part of the shoulder at this point. There we go. So that only applied to one of the hands. It actually applied to the hand I was dragging onto, which is pretty cool. Let's drag it onto the other hand. Easy as that. Now we got that one down. Let me push this back. Probably looking at the wrong. There we go. Probably have to grab this. There we go. Looking at it from a different angle will tell me where I'm going wrong. See? There we go. Going for something similar to what I'm drawing. Now, it doesn't have to be exact. It really doesn't. All you have to do is just make it, put it in a place where it's helpful to you. Right now, where it's at is not very helpful, so I'm just trying to tweak it as much as I can so I click on the wrong thing, so I can get it there. Alright, that's looking okay. Just tilt the head down. All right, that'll do for now. And then I'm just gonna zoom in. All right, let's zoom in here. So that's the FOV. We want a pretty high FOV. This sort of reminded me of manga art, so we're gonna look for a pretty high FOV. Let's click this and then sort of put it right here. Try to zoom in a bit more. Okay. All right, so that's basically set up. And sorry, I have not been looking at the chat much, guys. I wanted to get a few things done in the stream. I knew this would take a long time, so I didn't want to. I wanted to get a few things established first. But let's see what you guys have to say. So let's see. How to draw characters in different camera angles, like from an ant's point of view and a bird's point of view. Yeah, I'd recommend learning how to draw. That's one of the fundamentals of drawing is perspective. So once you learn how to draw perspective, it's a fundamental thing. Plenty of tutorials out there on it. It'll be pretty simple because drawing different views will all become the same process. Now, a lot of drawing problems people will end up having is because they have not established their fundamentals, which is what I'm going to do right after I'm done with working on Chronicle of Pi. I'm just going to go back to ironing out my fundamentals because it's one of the things that gets overlooked, but it really is the most important part of learning how to draw, learning how to paint, whatever. It's just, making sure your fundamentals are down. I'm just going to click on this layer. So seeing from this model, I learn. Is it just me? Is that eraser acting a little weird? Let's see. Oh, I didn't realize I was turned around. Let's see. Where am I right now? So that's this. Okay, so I'm on the right layer. I'm going to duplicate this 3D layer. And then I'm going to rasterize one of them. It takes a few seconds. All you got to do is right click and rasterize. Let's see, where is that new raster layer? Convert to, it's rasterized. Here we go. And I'm just hide the other one, and now this is an image. It's no longer a 3D view, which is perfect because then I can ignore it like it's an image. Okay, so let's get off of that 3D tool, go back to our animation. So this is erasing kind of strangely. I don't know if anyone else notices this. Oh, I'm probably using a different tool. It's the snap eraser. All right, there we go. Now we're in our normal eraser again. So this 3D model helps with some of the areas, the anatomical areas that I'm unfamiliar with. I will say though that using 3D models really does point out your weaknesses, because you just see how much easier it is to draw stuff once you use them, and you're like, wow, I really didn't know as much as I thought I knew. At least that's the experience in my case. So it really did expose how much I had to learn about anatomy, because I clearly needed to learn more, because there are certain areas that using the model will reveal, and I didn't know how to draw those things. So definitely a tool you can consider adding to your arsenal if you struggle with anatomy or whatever. And they don't just have models in here. They have of people, they have props, they have guitars, they have cameras, they have a car, bike, anything. So really good things to build up your visual library. Hey, We just got a subscriber. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Welcome to the channel. Alright, let's see. See if we can get this arm in now. So I notice it's going to be a lot smaller than the arm I'm working on right now. And this ribcage section is too big, or perhaps the legs are too small actually. Let's scale those up. Oh, and everything is so responsive. Perfect. If you guys use OpenTunes, you know what I'm talking about by being impressed by something scaling up and not taking 5 years. Props to those guys working on OpenTunes, coming out with version 1.6. Guys are awesome. Let's see. I was surprised. I didn't think we were going to get a new version this year. So that was very surprising. OpenTunes 1.5 was such a leap in the right. It was such a leap in the right direction. I did not expect to get in 1.6 anytime soon. These guys are working. I haven't tried 1.6 though. Has anyone tried it? Can I do another OpenTunes tutorial for the newest version? Yes, I plan to do that. I do plan to make one for 1.6. Each year I try to do it a little different, but so I don't know if I'm going to focus on so much downloading the program this year. I may just focus on using the time in the tutorial to teach you guys how to use it. I think that'll probably be the best use of your guys' time. So that way, because I know sometimes long videos are more helpful, but not everyone has the kind of time. So I really like to help people out who, you know, don't have all the time in the world to watch a longer video. Maybe I'll try to keep it to maybe 12 minutes max, and then we'll just go over like just a workflow in OpenTunes, how to get you completely going, so you don't even have to come back to the video. Once you get like master the stuff in the video, you'll just be off making animations. If you're looking for that sort of thing now though, she has 3 fingers. If you're looking for that sort of thing now, I have an animation course out on creativefabrica.com that does just that. It just gets you from plugging in your drawing tablet to making and posting your animations online. So if you're interested in that, the link is in the description, I think, or it will be. It's been guys, I've been working on finishing Castle Dark for a long time. Forgive me if the stream is a little patchy, you know, a little rough, a little scrappy. Forgive me if the next few videos are a little scrappy. I've been in the Castle Dark Chronicle of Pi pit for a little while. This thumb does not look right to me. Hold on, give me 1 second. This thumb needs some work. I might have to turn off the 3D model for that because this don't look right. Yeah, that don't look right to me. That's a little better. Okay, this is again turning out a little better than I thought it would. Wow, we're only an hour into the stream when things are finally picking up. Apologies, guys. It's been a while. It's gonna take just a little while to get back in the groove of doing YouTube stuff. I really committed to finishing Chronicle of Pi episode 1, so it's gonna take a little while to get back in the groove of things here. But thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate that so much. you should try Blender next. I did try Blender. Blender's I posted that. That's posted on my channel. I tried Blender's grease pencil, and it was really, really good. It was really, really good. I highly recommend it. So this frame, I'm not making this frame super detailed, just putting myself in a trap later on, because this is a keyframe. This is our first keyframe, so I'm making sure that everything is drawn on model. If you guys don't know about keyframes, extremes, and breakdowns and stuff like that, you're gonna want to learn about timing and in-betweening in animation, which is one of the 12 principles. So learning the foundations of any discipline you're trying to learn is really the place to start, because it answers a lot of the questions that one, you didn't know you had, and two, that you'll come across as you work. Let's do this. All right. Just gonna scroll up a bit in the chat. I did miss quite a lot. The freezing in OpenTunes is probably because of the length of your animation. You've only got 2 frames here. So the freezing I was mentioning was when I resized something in OpenTunes, and this is sometimes in OpenTunes 1.5. You know, it'll take kind of like a while for the program to process the resizing. Let's see, and that was the only reason I mentioned that is because I recently did like an animation project in what's it called? I tried to see what I can make in like an hour, and I was able to make actually quite a little bit of animation, which was a lot for an hour. So maybe I'll finish that up or spruce it up, and I'll show you guys someday. But really, it was just to take a break from you know, what's it called? Take a break from Chronicle of Pi and stuff like that. And I noticed that when I was resizing stuff, it doesn't always do this, which is the strange thing. It was taking a little while to process the resizing. Like I would resize it, and then it'd be like, this program, Windows thinks the program is not responding. I'm like, look, Windows, it's responding. Just give it a minute. So I typically, when that kind of stuff happens, I switch to OpenTunes 1.4. And then I just, you know, whatever I can't do 1.5, I just do in 1.4. Let's draw this a little more dynamic looking. Okay, and good to see you, Darren T. See, when I said I wasn't a programmer, that I was mentioning that some people, they definitely know more about OpenTunes and how it works. Let's see. And how, you know, a roadmap for it to reach the heights of an industry level animation program would look like, what they would have to fix. Let's see. So I do actually want to know what Clip Studio Paint is like when you have a lot more frames in here. That's actually something I do want to test. Let's see. Okay, so that's the first frame. That looks okay. I've been drawing the first frame for the first hour here, so I'm going to try to, you know, move on from that. And I'll probably just go to, let's say frame, let's see, I'm going to go to frame 12. Why not? And we'll draw. Oh, I have to make a new animation cell. Tap that. Awesome. Now I'm going to hide this 3D model here. Now that's the reason I duplicated it earlier, because this is the actual 3D model. The other one is just a picture now. So now let's see, what does my first frame look like? How did I hide that? Oh, I click over here. Now I actually hit it. There we go. I probably want her to, like, you know, bring her forearms up and cross them and then settle back into the same pose or something like that, or a similar one. So we'll probably go for that. I'm gonna do that with the model first to see what we get. Let me scroll down. Is there any free software? Of course, I have tons of videos showing you guys about free software, and I recommend that you start animations. If you're a beginner, I would not use Clip Studio Paint, because, I mean, it's a great software. I'm not saying it's not a good software. I'm saying that it's one, I don't think there's a lot of need for it if you're just starting out in animation. OpenToonz may look really complicated, but it's better to learn the hard way when you're beginning, because then you end up knowing more about animation in the end. Let's see. So yeah, if you're a professional looking for a software that's a little more responsive, I can recommend Clip Studio. But if you're just starting out, I'd recommend probably using Tahoma or OpenToonz, whichever works better for you. Again, the only reason I don't use Tahoma is because it whenever I try to, and I've talked to some of the devs about this, whenever I try to undo, like, you know, the little line for drawing a perspective line will appear. I probably should disable it or something. But there's a little bit of latency before it detects the fact that I'm trying to undo, and just that little bit of latency doesn't really happen in OpenToonz, which is why I just, instead of, I just rather use OpenToonz at times. Let's see. So we got the arms crossing. This is kind of what I'm going for, but I'm gonna have to push the model a little bit. The FOV. That's not what I'm looking for. Backwards. Okay, let's click off of that and then push the FOV like that. So there we go. I'm so glad you can edit the FOV in here. That is awesome. Okay, let's see. Tahoma or OpenToonz? It depends whichever one works for you. You know, for me, sometimes Tahoma works better. Like I've used both in Chronicle of Pi, like the production, because sometimes Tahoma works better. Some days OpenToonz works better. And it really depends, because I've heard the issues that I have in Tahoma about, like, you know, some of the latency or some of the strange crashing is the same things that people say happen with OpenToonz, and then they say Tahoma works better for them. So it could just be my system, could be my graphics card, my configuration, it could be a lot of things. Also keep in mind that I only really use OpenToonz 1.4 because I can't quite switch to 1.5, at least in expect it to work perfectly yet, because the project I'm working on, Chronicle of Pi, was made in 1.4, and it's not really recommended that you switch. Let's see. All right, let's go to, we're on the next frame. I'm gonna duplicate this 3D thing again, and then I'm going to hide the 3D version and then rasterize this. All right, here we go. All right, so I want to turn on the onion skin. Now, how do I turn on the onion skin? That I forgot to look up. Let's see, edit new timeline. Oh, there it is. Perfect.
That's kind of crap. I want to do that again.
So let's see, compared to the last one. Let's hide this and get this here. So the head moves down, okay. All right, let's see. I'm gonna move this down. And then, I think I might have had drawn our head too big in the last frame. Let's close these eyes for this one. The eyelashes like this. Oh, I forgot the eyebrows. The thing I like about this is you can actually switch layers here and it'll take you back to the last frame, which is really cool. Each one of your frames is actually on a layer. So illustration wise, that's pretty cool. I see the perspective on this eye is a little messed up. Eyebrows, that's what I forgot. We're gonna do, since her eyes are round, I changed her to having, sharp eyebrows for contrast. To break up that shape. Oh, Lucid Fog super chatted $2. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. You didn't have to do that. Thank you. You leave a message with it? Let's see. Thank you so much for all your tutorials. We appreciate you so much. Oh, thanks, man. Just sharing. I'm just glad you guys, they help, because sometimes there are some videos I want to do over because, they're not the most helpful things. But I appreciate you doing that. Thanks, man. All right. I don't know if I wanted to curve that. That's making the shape too complicated. It's all about simple shapes in this sort of style I'm developing, the Coco Kimi style. Let's see. One thing I get is a lot of people they worry about developing a style, and I want some of you guys to, if you worry about that, to, it's not the most serious thing in the world, as well as the fact that style can be engineered at any time. I have a general way I like to draw, and then I also have different styles to develop for the different productions that I like to make. Like this Coco and Kimi sort of style is taking a lot of inspiration from Japanese animation, actually American animation like Powerpuff Girls, taking a lot of inspiration from that sort of thing. So as for developing as for your personal style can be likened to how you tend to do things, but any style, like, the way characters look, can be engineered at any time. So it's nothing really to worry that much about. Let's see. Well, thank you. There's 36 of you guys. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate that. Wow. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so for the newest version of OpenTunes, I do plan on doing a tutorial, but apologies if it doesn't come out. Well, not apologies. It may not come out as promptly, because ideally I would just, release it on the day that OpenTunes 1.6 releases. But since Chronicle of Pi is coming out soon, guys, it may be later. But in the meantime, I'm pretty sure, and you guys can correct me if you guys know, but Darren T might have a tutorial out before then. So I'd recommend checking out his tutorial. And then if you still are into learning more about OpenTunes 1.6, mine will probably come out later. We'll see though. We will see. Oh, I really like this song. Can you cover OpenTunes features that you haven't covered yet, like some effects nodes and some brushes? So I did do a video on brushes before, but I do want to continue doing OpenTunes tutorials, and especially in the effects area, because I think the effects area in OpenTunes is sort of where, if I were to do like an OpenTunes versus Clip Studio or OpenTunes versus Krita, that's where OpenTunes would shine. Like, it would really shine as its own compositing software. And I'm really excited for when I do make those videos, to see where OpenTunes can stand. Because look, it's as a free software, OpenTunes is like, you might as well use it even if you have a paid software. Like, just because, like, say I can say, like, what if I went through all the paces with Clip Studio Paint and made a whole like Chronicle Pi episode 2 in Clip Studio. What if I made that all in Clip Studio, and then I was going to compare it to OpenTunes? I think the effects node in OpenTunes would make it so, like, Clip Studio Paint might like, say it won, right? But then it's like, I'm not going to delete OpenTunes from my computer. Just because I animate in here doesn't mean I can't use OpenTunes for stuff like compositing or something like that. Because on the effects, like all the generated effects you can do, really cool stuff. So I don't know, we'll have to see. I do look forward to making one of those comparison videos. Not really to determine what is better, because look, I didn't start using paid software. I couldn't afford paid software when I started animating. So as for what's better for you guys starting out right now, if you're like me, it's just download Tahoma, download OpenTunes. But as for like what is the best software period, what is the best for your money, well, probably OpenTunes then too, because it's free, but or Krita or something like that. It depends on your workflow, because you may not need all the features that OpenTunes has. Like, I used Krita, and in my course I use Krita to animate a bouncing ball. If all you need is just frame by frame functionality and you're okay with drawing everything, Krita may just be all you need. So as for what's best, it's hard to say. Where'd I go to stream music? I use Pretzel Rocks for music streaming. That's what's it called, for copyright free music. Thanks, Sebastian. Yes, I do. I released an OpenTunes 1.6 video last Friday. Okay, cool. All right, this is our second frame. So one thing I have to set up, guys, is flipping between frames. Like, I'll admit, opening up Clip Studio, I had the same reaction as when I first opened up OpenTunes, because wow, look at the interface. There's like a million things here. And so as for where to set up shortcuts and how that works, I was like, man, that's a lot of work. And to be honest, it took me years to understand OpenTunes and to use it, you know, like I use it today, to use it well, to feel confident when I open up OpenTunes that I can make something, I can make what's in my head. Right now with Clip Studio Paint, I don't feel that confident. I have an idea because of course I've looked at tutorials, although I haven't, you know, I didn't follow along with everything because I wanted my first actual trial of the software's animation features to be with you guys, aka right now. But I did look up tutorials, so I do know how technically to do most things. But as for, you know, getting into using keyframes and, you know, puppets, I'm not going to get into that today because that's a whole nother section, which is actually why I'm checking out this software in the first place, because I saw that you can use keyframes and camera movement. So, oh, that's not the way fingers. That's not how that looks. They curve down. There we go. See? Oh man, I got a lot of work to do as an artist, guys. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun once Chronicle of Pi. Let's see, the 24th. That's in what's it called? 19 days. 19 days. And then we'll be able to move on. I'm looking very forward to moving on. Although I don't think I would have moved on if I didn't finish that project. So many of you guys, like if I of course the patrons were guaranteed a project, so they were gonna get it no matter what. But in any case, I was so determined to move on with this film done. I was not gonna do anything otherwise. So I guess I'm just ignoring the reference because last time I checked, I was trying to make a pose where the person was crossing their arms. See what happens when you don't pay attention? Okay. You know, I kind of like this idea though. Maybe I can just sort of do a thing where Coco's looking at the screen, and this might be for my new intro. You never know. It depends on how good it turns out. If it turns out really good, we'll put it in. And then there's sort of like, you see the logo come on, and then she'll like open her eyes, maybe turn her head or something. Yeah, I like that idea. Okay, we'll do that. Roll with it. All right, let's see. Oh, I like the bass in this song. It's like a double bass or something. When I do my full OpenTunes review, I do want to pick, hopefully I got the chance to pick the brains of some of the developers, some of the other like pro users of OpenTunes, because I don't know if you guys realize, for a free program, I don't know if many people realize just how amazing OpenTunes really is. I don't think they realize how much it packs in for OpenTunes, that even if you have animation software, like premium animation software like Toon Boom or something like that, that you would still have OpenTunes in your library because of that powerful effects feature or whatever feature. So, like, you know, some movies have been what's it called? I heard somewhere, I have to look it up, but I think it was a Ghibli movie that used it for some of the effects. So if people who have these professional softwares use OpenTunes, it's just something you keep in your library, you know. So for a free tool, that's pretty cool. And if it's all you have, it's sufficient. I mean, guys, look, I made a short film in it, right? I made an entire short film in OpenTunes. So clearly, if you're wondering whether it's capable or not, it's capable. So I can't wait to start, you know, to do some comparisons with these different programs to see where it sits, and, you know, in certain areas. Because I think, as for the brush engine, that's probably OT's biggest weakness, unless I'm unaware of something else. That's what I'm guessing. My hypothesis is that the brush engine is probably the thing holding it back most. But beyond that, like animation tools, features, we're not missing out on a lot, especially with that camera features and the keyframes and stuff like that. My hypothesis for my review, which may change, of course, because you know, when I actually review, I'm going to be looking into a lot more stuff. It's not just going to be like oh, what do I think about OpenTunes? It's this, and that. No. I'm going to see, try to get an overall view of the entire program that really changed my life, because there really was no program like it before that date available for free. So I'm looking forward to looking into that. I think because I'm warmed up, the drawings are starting to look okay, which is making me feel a little better, because when we started they were looking a little rough, but I'm warmed up now, so we're ready. Okay, look, I mean, this song is great, but we listened to this song at least 3 times, so let's switch it up. 57 concurrent viewers. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming to the stream. It means a lot to me. I appreciate that. And for your support for the channel over all the years. I can't thank all of you individually, which I wish I could. I wish I had the time to call you guys out, because I do remember you guys. But thank you guys so much for supporting the channel over all these years. I cannot wait to celebrate the release of Chronicle of Pi for you guys, because that in itself will speak more. I'm probably going to use a lot of clips from that in my review, because that in itself will speak more for OpenTunes than a lot of my words can. That production in its entirety for itself will speak for why even professionals have OT in their lunchbox, so to speak. All right. Oh, did I? Oh, I already have this thing. So the Torbox seems to be, already kind of know that this, one of the dials is set for moving frames. So that kind of just worked out. I don't know if I set that. Did I set that? I can't remember at this point, guys. It's looking slow for remembering what I did. I've been waiting to use this feature for so long, man, and it is not disappointing at all. This is exact. It's because the brush engine, right? That's why Krita looks so good next to OpenTunes. That's why you have Krita in your library as well, because OpenTunes' brush engine, I think, like, again, is its weakest point. So that's why I think Krita can shine. But when you got something like Clip Studio, right? Now, this even has a nicer feeling brush engine than Krita. So, and it has more animation functionality, especially if you want to add sounds and stuff like that. So we're looking at a really tough matchup. But of course, again, like it's going to be apparent in the view, the difference in these programs is supposed to be it's a contrast, because Clip Studio Paint is paid software and OpenTunes is free software. That's the point of the difference. So I'm looking forward to seeing how OpenTunes ranks, how Clip Studio ranks, and Blender too. Like, wow, Blender. Can you believe that thing's moving to 2D animation? The reason, it's funny because I think I've mentioned this before, but I started animation in Blender because there really weren't any great 2D animation programs when I was looking to get it. Because I always knew I was going to be a 2D animator. I would never want it to be a 3D animator, but I made 3D animations because Blender was free. And then OpenTunes is released to the public, and I just completely switched over. I just ditched Blender. And so in that video, my animator tries Blender Grease Pencil for the first time. It was coming back, you know? It was technically, my heart wasn't really into the 3D animation thing, but I enjoyed it. So coming back to it was like, wow. Now they're going for 2D animation here. So it was like, wow. Coming full circle almost. I like the thumb sliding back there. That's a good call. Oh, saving information. Okay, interesting. I don't think I hit save. It just said saving information when it started acting slow. See guys, even software you paid for has hiccups. It's not just OpenTunes. See, how long have we been going? Hold on, I'm gonna check this out. Your style looks really cool and dynamic, especially the fist and posture of the body. Thank you. Yeah, so definitely very different inspiration from the Chronicle of Pi style for the style of Kyoko and Kimi. This is definitely way more influenced by Japanese cartoons and Japanese animation. And then a little bit of just, in general pop art. You have like very thick outlines, very thin inner contour lines, not contour lines, thick contour lines, and thinner detail lines. So, okay, that's frame 2, and we are at 1.5 hours. That's 2D animation for you guys. Oh man, no wonder. Was it Disney that said 2D animation is dead? It's just getting started, Disney. I mean, I can get where they're coming from. They had the technology for almost close to a century. Wish I could use Photoshop brushes in OpenTunes. Yeah, I've never tried Photoshop brushes, but from what I see, it's probably similar to an experience I have here. Photoshop brushes are sort of like the industry standard. I don't know. It might take a lot to rework that sort of brush engine in OT, and it really did improve when they added those the addition of the MyPaint brushes. That was like a really big leap in the right direction. Almost like historical to OpenTunes users, because before that there was not a lot of natural drawing going on. So hopefully, I'm not sure. Look, I mean, you probably have to look to the people who are looking for making plugins for OpenTunes, looking to make updates for it, making their own versions of it, they're making their own fork of OpenTunes. You probably have to ask them about what they think about the program and what its biggest flaws are, which hopefully I'll be able to do. Hopefully I'll be able to catch some of those people when I make my review of the program. But just this isn't a spoiler for the review, but anyone who's wondering if you can make full-length feature animations in OpenTunes, that answer is yes. Spoiler alert, you can make full-length, professional feature-length animations, all that stuff. The hypothetical question, is it possible? Yes, it's possible. It's more than possible. It's actually, it's not just possible, it's professional. Let's see. So what do I think about it so far? I'm loving Clip Studio Paint. I mean, I've been using. I was fighting for free software. I wasn't paying attention to Clip Studio. I don't pay attention to those paid softwares because look, you got OpenTunes, you got Tahoma, you got Krita, you got all you need, Blender and stuff like that. So I just sort of ignored all the paid art softwares because I'm like, I don't need that. Actually stepping into a software and trying it, this thing's amazing. The brushes are just so nice to use. They're just so nice to use. And if you have a good brush engine for some styles of 2D animation, like my style personally, it's perfect, because in other styles I can understand if you're more into, you know, puppet animation, you might want to use a program like OpenTunes, which I haven't tried that in Clip Studio, so I won't write it off. But you may want to use something like OpenTunes or Tuba, because the puppet animation and the, you know, the keyframing just has a little bit more support with that X sheet. But then again, I don't know, just, you know, just first impressions. But for my style, I like to do traditional hand-drawn animation, just drawing every frame, and it's perfect. It's awesome. The brush engine makes it really, really nice to use. What frame are we drawing now? Okay, we're drawing. I know what we're doing. Here we go. I'm gonna go to 24 and then hit new cell. I like how these are on layers too, because you can always switch the blending mode of layers. So you can just put a whole frame on a different blending mode. I don't see the use for that right now, but I don't know. Maybe sometime, I'm gonna flip it again. Sometime in the future, that'll be useful. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much done with the model. The model has pretty much run its course. And I'm already warmed up, so I'm just going to draw this last frame, and then we'll call it quits. Wow, this will be my longest live stream yet. It was a little rocky at the start, a little bit. I'm still figuring out this whole streaming thing, so thank you guys for bearing with me. Alright. Let's do something like that, huh? Go sort of what's up kind of look. I make the head a little too big. It's all part of the learning process. Okay. Yeah, I don't think the brush styles are really a problem in OpenTunes. Like, you have plenty of brush styles. Like, look, I mean, maybe I'm just biased because I use the Sketch 1 brush, and that's basic. I just really, all I need is like a gritty sketching pencil, and then I'm all set. But in OpenTunes, I don't think it's the brushes, the variety themselves. That's really the main issue. I think it's probably just the engine itself, how it interacts with your tablet and stuff like that. I don't think it's not the worst brush engine I've used. That's definitely soon. It's not like bad. Again, I did make an entire film in using it, so it's not bad, especially with those My Paint brushes. That sort of, the inclusion of those sort of really like made the process like nicer in OT. So I just think, like, I would prefer, if I was gonna do illustration or anything, I definitely prefer to use or if I'm gonna use animation that has like a really, like a pencil-y look, like what we have to the left over here, this drawing right here. If I was looking for that high quality pencil look, I could still use OpenTunes, but I probably want to use Krita or something like that if we're still looking at free programs. This eye has to be way bigger. Something wrong with that head, and I don't know what it is. Let's see. Well, it's probably the placement of the eyes. Yeah, we need to get some perspective in here. There we go. Much better. I'll just tweak that. The music hasn't been too bad today. Sometimes you get some stuff that's just kind of lame, you know? It's been pretty good. Oh, I like where this is going, man. I really like where this is going. This animation's starting to look dope. Okay. It really didn't start out looking too good, but we're getting there, guys. We really are. I think it's this eyeball. Needs to be more, you know, vertical. Okay, this doesn't look right. We all know that doesn't look right. Give some perspective for the eyes. There's too many lines over here. Need some more freedom. Free that up. Oops. This is the first time I think I've drawn Coco for a very long time and like announced that that's the character's name on the channel. So I might have referred to them more than I've actually, you know, introduced them. So for all those confusing videos where you have no idea who I'm talking about, this is the person I was talking about. This is the character I was talking about. What's this down here? Yeah, that helped. That helped a little. Oh, that looks so cool. That was such a good idea. These things, once you get the hang of it, it's not like I really planned all of this. Sometimes it just comes to you. And that part is just sick. That part is sick. I understand if you're a beginner, it can be really discouraging because I know when I was a beginner, it was a struggle to get like anything that I was satisfied with. To get one drawing that I liked. And so for a long time it's like you have to deal with these drawings that you don't like, at least for some beginners. And I didn't practice as the reason is because I didn't really practice my fundamentals. I thought I didn't need that stuff when I was just beginning. But then eventually, you know, I got there the hard way. I thought I didn't need all this stuff. Eventually learned that, wait a minute, everyone, you need to, you know the rules before you break them. Understanding what that meant and actually learning these things for myself, I finally got to a point where I can reach that point where I do like my work. I look at my work and I see things that I enjoy about it. You know, and there's things I have to work on, definitely, like we saw today. The 3D model really helped me with that anatomy, the initial anatomy for our frame. So that's definitely something I have to work on. And so I keep flipping it the wrong way. You know, but you can get to a point where you do like your work. You do like what you produce. You're starting to the pressure is starting to ease up a little bit, I'll say. What's up here? All right. So I'm not really taking this animation anywhere too crazy. Really just doing like half of this, like these frames are just like borderline tracing the first one. So making that initial keyframe is really important. And getting it right is really important. Raycola subscribed. Thank you, Raycola. Good to have you. Are they here with us? I don't think so. We'll see. If you could leave something in the chat, that would be really cool. Oh, I know how I'm going to animate this dude. This is sick. This is so sick. And you know, the funny thing is, I was initially I just ignored Clip Studio Paint, thinking that it's just like a you know one of those run-of-the-mill flipbook softwares. And here I am. The only feature I'm gonna get to showcase in this stream is just a basic flipbook like animation. So that's kind of ironic, but basically there's more about Clip Studio Paint. You can add sounds, and one thing I want to make sure is that you can add more than one sound. That kind of was the deal breaker for me and Krita, because you can only add one sound, and I think you can only add just one sound in Krita, and then you can't see the waveform, and I'm like, okay, that's not really. So that's something that OpenTunes and Clip have in common. So you can add multiple sounds, and you can see the waveform of each sound. This sketch is so refined over time. Like, this one's a mess. Then you can start seeing the form in this one, and then this one's much better. There's a lot of backhead here. I might have to just get rid of all that. My longest stream yet, guys. This is where her hands relax, so we're gonna see a lot more of that knuckle. All right, let's see. It's curved down. We're gonna go that way with the hand. It's gonna be somewhat dramatic. Let's go like this. So you won't really see those knuckles anymore. Do you think it's better to design such sketch characters traditionally on paper or fully digitally? Yeah, so it depends on you, but personally, like guys, you gotta remember that no matter how expensive your tablet is, it's never gonna be like paper and pencil. Like for me, I can do this stuff digitally, but when I'm drawing on paper and pencil, I feel like I can draw way better. It's a lot more natural for me. And so that's why actually at the beginning of the stream I just ran and got my sketchbook. Just to, make sure I'm in the right place. I feel like if this was like, there was like a thing that, where you could animate digitally, but just like straight up on paper, or it felt exactly like paper, which, it won't. That would be perfect. I feel like I'd be way better. My drawings would come out nicer at least. So it's up to you. If you feel more comfortable drawing on paper, then just draw on paper. Take a picture of it and then finish it digitally. Do whatever feels comfortable for you. And I don't mean to, I hope I don't come off dismissive with that question. The only reason I say that is because everyone's so different. Their process, what works for them is so different. So I don't want to answer your questions and then, maybe you find that my answer didn't work for you. Because it's more important to find what works for you than because there's no really, one answer to how you should approach art. There's just so many methods, and every artist establishes their method for themselves. There's no, standard method, so to speak. Definitely gotta work on drawing hands when we get back at it. It's been rough this whole day. So took a look at my hand real quick. Gotta make sure I like this one for the next stream. I like this song. The Tin Roof Graffiti by Abstraction, if you're wondering. This arm's gotta relax a little. We already heard this song as well. That deserves a skip. Okay, so 3 frames is probably as far as we're gonna get. This has been 2 hours. Thank you guys so much for coming. Wow, we accomplished a lot in 2 hours. That's pretty good. It's about average, you know, the speed I'm at right now, but it's a lot. So actually, before I go, I'm actually just gonna draw the bandages below, on the lower part of her face. You're supposed to have them all throughout until they sort of twist off here. But I didn't bother doing those yet because we're not in the final animation phase. You don't have to worry about it. We're just worrying about the basics for now. Let's get the collarbone in there. At least a suggestion of it. All right. So wow. That's pretty good. I really like it so far. And I know all I did is really draw frames, but guys, there's so much more you can do in this thing. You can move around your drawings with keyframes. You can edit your interpolation, you know, ease in, ease out. That's really, you know, that's not bad. That's pretty good. Now, considering to unlock the full animation feature, you need, it's $220. It goes on sale, I think, for maybe $150, and then the pro version is probably like $30 when it goes on sale. So I'd recommend picking it up on sale. It seems to happen pretty often, so I wouldn't pay the full $200 for it. But again, I'd really only recommend this to anyone looking for, anyone who's, you know, established their, I mean, if you want the software, that, I mean, you just want to use Clip Studio Paint, that's perfectly fine. But anyone who has, you know, who's a professional, who needs a little more than the, who needs a little more oomph or a little more, what's it called, performance than OpenTunes, then I definitely recommend Clip Studio. Because OpenTunes has it feature-wise, but it's just that performance. You know, there's a delay when you import when you do shortcuts. And it's not a delay that's, you know, seems like the program's like, you know, lagging or something like that. It's just a straight up, when I input shortcuts in Krita, it just happens like instantly. When OpenTunes, it just takes a little bit longer, like probably a matter of milliseconds, but it's very noticeable. So, well, not milliseconds, probably like a half a second or something. So that adds up, and it makes the program feel sluggish. It's probably one of the biggest weaknesses of OpenTunes. But again, if you're a pro out there looking for a better performing software, I'd say Clip Studio is a go, and then also get OpenTunes in case if you know how to use it, because then you can really do some nice cool stuff with their effects. So this has been pretty cool. Let me just color in these eyelashes over here. Wow. So I will admit, when you use the 3D models, right? For me personally, it kind of feels like, oh man, I didn't really draw this. That's how it felt when I first used them, because I did kind of borderline when I first used them in Clip. I kind of traced over them, you know, for you know, it was a picture I can put on screen now. Actually, no, it's not a video, so I can't do that. But you probably see it in the video that I release. But I traced over the legs and, you know, changed a few different things. There's a window sound for you guys. And after I'm like, oh man, like I wish I was better at drawing, because it makes you feel like you didn't really draw what you just drew. This one, I did definitely use this as reference, because I couldn't really trace the model. The model was barely even accurate, but it did help with, like, you know, drawing fingers and stuff like that. So this one was more of a reference than a trace, which wouldn't matter anyway, because in Clip Studio, all the models that they provide you can use for commercial use. So that's cool. All right, so that's about it, guys. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you guys can check out some of my other videos. And so what do you guys think about Clip Studio? I usually use OpenTunes. I tried out Blender, which was pretty cool. Again, the brush engine in Blender, it's vector only, so you're not gonna get the really nice smooth lines. The brush engine in Blender for 2D animation is just a little blocky looking, but it's pretty good because you can add modifiers on top of it and stuff like that. So, but what do you guys think about Clip Studio Paint? So I'd recommend definitely, like, if you so the pro version is like $50, but even then, my honest opinion about Clip Studio is that I still wouldn't buy the pro version. Like, I would really only buy the EX version, because look, if you're just going for like the nice painting experience, it's really good. I think for $50 that's a steal. But I still use Krita. I'm used to Krita. Krita's great, and I can do without the 3D models. But the watercolor simulation is pretty good too, so I have to admit, might be pretty tempting to get. So not that I wouldn't buy the $50 version, but I'd be less inclined to. But if I was gonna go for the full thing with every feature, I think I'd be down for that. If I was ready to move on from using free software and to have a premium experience, this is where it's at. So thank you guys so much for coming. Let's see. Oh, so you use EX for illustration and animation. Very nice. It's awesome to use. It's good. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing. Let's see. So I'll see you guys next time. This has been a blast. I'm sorry the stream was so rocky. It's been a long time, but I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll be making some more content on the software coming up soon. So look forward to that, and some more OpenTunes tutorials as well, which will also apply to Tomo 2D. So I hope to see you guys soon. Peace.